Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, Pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about, I was just having a look at the business inbox, and there's a bunch of emails and whatnot exhorting businesses in the West, white businesses in the West, to favour refugees in hiring. I thought, wow, that's an interesting one. So you don't give jobs to your fellow citizens or qualified people or anything like that. Instead, you hire refugees. So I thought, I'll have a little look at that. And I went on some business websites, the usual suspects that are very pro-globalist, and push all the globalist talking points. So I guess it's not surprising, but it's just how overt this is. You kind of have to hire the refugees. If you don't, you're a bad person. So what is a refugee? Now, the definition of this is very broad. You can be escaping warfare. That could be civil war or invasion. You can be escaping like drug gangs and drug warlords, that sort of thing. You can be escaping specific political or social oppression, such as, you're gay and there's anti-gay lesbian laws in your country, and so you can be fleeing that. But also you can be fleeing climate. So for some reason, if the climate is uniquely bad in your country, you can just go to another country and suddenly the climate's not bad or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how you work that. But the biggest and newest category is, for a refugee, you can be escaping poverty. So you can just live in a poor country. You can be born in a poor country, and it is your right to go to a rich country. What right is that? I mean, how do we sort of determine that right? Well, has it even worked out again? It's ideological, so it's all sort of gobbledygook Marxist type terms. You're entitled, if you're poor, you're entitled to go to a rich country. So you can thrive and reach your potential. And they've got all that sort of stuff. So what constitutes a refugee is expanded out of sight. So every illegal alien that arrives in the West, or overstays their visa or arrives illegally or whatever, is really a refugee of one sort or another. All you do is just expand the category of definitions so that it includes everybody from anywhere at any time. Therefore, everyone is a refugee. If you decide, if you live in some dirt poor country in a village out in the middle of nowhere, but you decide you want a university degree in a first world country in a big city, you are now oppressed. You are now a refugee. So you can come to first world country. So, well, I always wanted a degree in a big city in a first world country. And if you're denied that, then you're being oppressed. And when you arrive, putting your hand up saying, I want all that for free, that doesn't make you a freeloader. It doesn't make you an illegal alien. Far from it. You are now a refugee. So by expanding the definition, pretty much anyone from the third world is a refugee. So they try and present this as it's a moral issue. If you don't give a job to these people, then you are a fucking Nazi. You are Hitler. You are Hitler if you don't give a job to these people. I'd imagine they'd sort of find, fertile ground with sort of the gender studies, human resources, diversity officer type people, because they're everywhere now. Really, you can't look sideways without seeing one of them. Even now, relatively small companies like less than 100 employees, that they've got these HR operatives and diversity operatives, even in the smaller businesses, which seems astonishing that they've penetrated down that far down the line, but they have. Typically, it's something you'd associate with big multinationals, big government departments, large bureaucratic, but no longer. Again, quite small businesses now. Even less than 100 people have these sort of diversity and equity type people, and HR bimbos, angry little HR snot-nosed gender studies girlies and this sort of thing. But coming back to this exhorting businesses to hire refugees in favour of or over the top of your local citizens. Now, they've come from third world countries. Many don't speak English or barely speak it. They've got no qualifications to speak of. Well, none. They've probably only had a few years of basic schooling. So they arrive in the West. Really, all they can do is menial labour jobs or sell drugs or something like that. But really, that's all they can do. Work in takeout food stores and so on. Now, if you look at it in a sort of a more global sense, they're coming from countries where there's no jobs. The only jobs you have is living as a subsistence farmer, where you're just growing enough to eat, maybe a tiny surplus that you barter for something, but you're only just getting by to exist day to day. So working at a job that pays you money, where you live you live sort of hand to mouth with a wage, that's kind of a step up for them. So they see that as an improvement in their circumstances. So you kind of can understand that. But the downside is that in the West, we're creating a very large artificial economy sector, completely artificial economy sector, to artificially depressed wages, to artificially employ people that in a free market economy, couldn't exist, and wouldn't be needed, and wouldn't arrive. Also, the wider global cost of moving these illegals around, the United Nations, all the NGOs, all the money that's, the George Soros stuff and everything, the money that is poured into moving these people around the world, and then you being hit up and shamed and guilt tripped to give these people jobs on top of that. People that aren't needed and shouldn't even fucking be here in the West. So give these people jobs on top of that. People that aren't needed and shouldn't even fucking be here in the West. So given the expanded definition, where they now say that anybody who arrives in the West illegally from a third world country is a refugee, no matter what the reason, no matter the level of illegality, no matter how they're mentally retarded, it doesn't matter. They are refugees, and they are therefore entitled to various benefits. So then sort of well down the articles and they talk about, well, what are the benefits of employing these people? They have a very unconvincing stab at saying, well, these people are incredibly talented. They're incredibly fucking talented. That instead of one PhD in engineering, they've got 100 PhDs each. And they're doctors. I mean, they could do brain surgery and heart surgery at the same time, with their eyes closed, standing on their head. That's how fucking talented these people are. And do you doubt it? Do you doubt it, you damn fucking Nazi? So they're saying these people are incredible. So they come from these third world shitholes, these penniless peasants that are somehow also incredibly talented with multiple PhDs. I don't know how they can reconcile that, and I'm surprised that they actually try and push that one. Again, maybe they're looking at the young HR girls around the place who are themselves also retarded. So maybe they won't notice, or it doesn't occur to them to ask the questions. But we know that's utter nonsense. These were illiterate peasants from the third world, for goodness sakes. Then they say, well, really the main benefits are that you create more diversity in your workplace, and you wait for this, you create an environment of cultural enrichment. So an illiterate peasant from the third world is going to give diversity and cultural enrichment to your workplace. I mean, excuse me, that they aren't able to put a single benefit or a single reason, not one, as to why you should employ people who are illegally, shouldn't even be in the West anyway. And all this mass migration has been forced on us by the globalists. Now they've got their propaganda stooge flunkies running around trying to shame and guilt trip Western businesses into hiring these illegals. For goodness sakes. You've been a Tacitus today, your pushback channel. Thank you for listening.